Hey guys. So, wanted to make a video because there seems to be a lot of misinformation floating around the internet and all over news, whatever you want to call it, about these illnesses, quote unquote illnesses that are coming up with um, what I believe is black market THC pods and stuff like that. But the issue that I have with this is that with the majority of the stories that I've read online and that are being broadcasted on the news, is that what they don't seem to realize or what they don't seem to tell people is that a lot of the issue has to do with the THC black market pods that are being picked up off the street. So, from a government standpoint, you're saying let's go ahead and just get rid of vaping altogether because we have kids out here who are buying stuff off the street and are getting sick from it. So, I mean, I can understand that definitely is a cause for concern, don't get me wrong. But all you're doing by banning flavors is just creating a bigger issue. You know, prohibition has never worked in this country, and I don't believe that it ever will. But this is a complete overreach of government, if you ask me. I smoked cigarettes, so I'm 33 now. I started smoking when I was 16. And I tried for years to kick the habit. I tried everything from nicotine patches, nicotine gum, the little nicotine, the little cotton, look like cotton rolls with nicotine. I tried those, and it never worked. I just eventually just went right back to smoking a cigarette. But then 4 years ago, a friend of mine introduced me to a vape shop here in town. I got my very first vape set up, and ever since then, I got hooked. Now, for the first 6 or 7 months, I got to a point where I would find myself still smoking, but it was very clear from a very quick standpoint that I realized that I wasn't smoking as much. So now, fast forward 4 years later, I still vape. This is my flavor of choice. And it's not just the e-juice itself that's helped, but it's the flavor. The flavor is what keeps me from going back to a traditional cigarette. And I don't understand how people don't understand that concept. You know, let's not be honest, or let's not kid ourselves. Rather, it seems that this country today has a personal accountability issue. No, these kids should not be vaping under any circumstances. But if the kids are still getting vape products, then shouldn't we be looking at the parents instead of the industry as a whole? I mean, if you want to consider vaping, doing a vaping ban, well, then let's just get rid of cigarettes. Let's get rid of dip. Oh, here's another one: alcohol. I've sat here for the last hour or so and I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube. And the one thing that I've noticed that's in common with all of these videos is that the government and the media, especially more so in Michigan, are trying to say that, vaping products are marketed towards kids. But here's the thing. That couldn't be further from the truth. We've been down this road before with, the whole vape shops getting, or vaping companies getting letters saying, hey, you need to change your marketing or your packaging because it's too appealing to kids and blah, 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 blah. And for the most part, they've done that. Now, the last time I checked, you have to be 18 years old to buy cigarettes or any other tobacco product, and it's still the same with vaping. So, I mean, what part of that makes it fair to get rid of the industry as a whole for the people that have used it, such as myself, as a means to quit traditional cigarettes and have become healthier because of it? And just say, oh, well, because we have kids out here using it that aren't supposed to be getting a hold of it in the first place, We're just going to get rid of it altogether. But we're going to keep tobacco flavored flavors. Where does that make any sense? Oh yeah, that's right. Because we don't want to come out and say you want you to smoke, but we wouldn't want you to miss out on the tobacco flavors. I mean, the point of it is that it's just stupid. It's a complete overreach. It's absolute stupidity. And I could keep going on all night about this, but the point of this video is to basically make a point that as a ex-smoker, vaping has tremendously helped me out, has made me healthier. I don't smell like an ashtray anymore. I'm sure I probably smell a lot better to some. And it's just my overall health is just so much better. And I really and truly feel that from an ex-smoker's perspective, and given the fact that over the last 4 years that since I've started vaping, food tastes better, I feel better, I breathe better. I mean, I can actually walk a flight of steps and not feel winded. But I mean, the point of it is just I want people to consider this. For those who are opposed to vaping, everyone has a right to their own opinion. It might not appeal to you, and that's fine. It doesn't have to. But just keep this in mind. People die every single year from cancer or from some smoking-related illness. And that's a lot of people. I don't have the stats in front of me, but we all know there's a lot of people that die from cancer. My grandfather passed away when I was 8 years old and died due to lung cancer. He smoked his entire life. I truly believe that vaping is the safer alternative. We might not know the long-term side effects, but no one ever really claimed that vaping was a, harmless solution to getting rid of regular combustible tobacco. It's harm reduction. As far as the personal accountability, everything we do in life has its own risk. I know what I'm doing when I, go out and get shit-faced and get behind the wheel of a car. Not that I ever would, let's make that clear. But, I know that if I were to do that, I pose a very, very dangerous risk to not only myself, but others around me and whatever. And that's probably a shitty analogy. But point of it is that vaping has already helped so many people give up such a dirty habit. And for the government to try to step in and take that away from the public, the very people that are trying to say, oh, we're here to try to help you and make your life healthier and blah, blah, it's unforgivable. It's absolutely unforgivable. There is a very obvious solution to helping you get off of cigarettes that has been proven to work. And you want to take that away because, let's just be honest, because some fucking stupid kids, buy stuff off the street without knowing what it is, or because parents don't want to parent their children and don't take the time to, be involved with their kids' life to the point where they know what their kids are doing. And I get it. I can hear you now in the comment section saying, oh, well, it's hard to know what your kid's doing all the time. And I understand that. But it all comes down to everything that we do in life carries risks. And we all take those risks, and we accept it for what it is. But don't take away my right to vape, my right to a healthier lifestyle, because nothing else I've tried has worked until I started vaping. Just because some kids are out here getting stuff off the street they shouldn't have access to in the first place. Or, let me back that up. It's not fair for us to have to lose our rights to a safer alternative for nicotine, because some kids are out here essentially ruining it for everyone else because they're out buying stuff that they, one, have no business buying in the first place, and two, buying something without knowing exactly what's in it. When I go to the vape shop and I buy my juice, It's a bottle just like this, and it's sealed. FDA has been regulating major juice companies since 2017. And anybody who knows what the FDA does, they have some pretty strict stuff that you have to follow in order for it to be consumed or to be considered safe to consume. Now, with that being said, no, again, we don't know the long-term health effects of vaping, but the point of it is that it has been proven in England that it has been 95% safer to vape over traditional combustible tobacco products. And that comes from the Royal College of Physicians. You have, in London, they're opening vape shops inside of hospitals to help the smokers kick the habit. They're actively promoting it as a healthier alternative. And yet here we are in America trying to take it away, which is going to leave millions of vapors with no other options but to go back to smoking cigarettes. It makes no sense to me. All you're doing is just throwing gas on an open fire. And it's going to make this, what's going on right now with the hundreds of these vaping illnesses that have been discovered, it's going to make it worse. Nobody will have any other option to get their stuff but off the street. And, they talk about there's an epidemic. That's truly an epidemic. It sickens me to my core that we live in a time where the government's willing to take away a right to be a healthier lifestyle. For those people who don't smoke or have never smoked,